In today's video, I'll be breaking down the cost of living in Accra, Ghana with my kids. So let's get right into it. So just to give you guys a bit of context, we've been living in Ghana here for like over a year now, and we've been absolutely loving it. I've got a 5-year-old son who is in primary school, and I've got a 22-month who is in daycare. So cost of living. When it comes to Ghana, I think housing is a big one for a lot of people because it actually is probably one of the biggest cultural shocks, especially if you're coming from the West where you're used to like doing monthly payments. Over here in Ghana, landlords expect big, chunky 1 year to 2 year payments before you even move into the property. Yeah. So let's say you are a family of four, for example, give my example, and you want to live in a nice, 3-bedroom house in a nice area, that may set you back around 10,000 Ghana cedis, which is around 650 something pounds, which in US dollars I believe is around 850 USD, around that price mark. So that I would say is your minimum. Then it can go anywhere up from that, guys, depending on what area you want to live in. I mean, if you want to live in Cantonments, Airport, Leboni, be expected to pay around like 3,000 USD a month and times that by 12, and that's your number to give to to give to the landlord. But yeah, house prices, I would say, like, if you want something like decent, it can range anything between 10,000 Ghana cedis to like 22,000 Ghana cedis. So like in pounds, I would say that's around anything between like 650 all the way up until like 1,500 pounds. So that's what you're looking at for like just decent properties. But then again, the standards for Ghana is not the same as the UK or the US. So you can give your landlord that amount of money for rent, and then you'll have to do your additional shop for your cooker, your fridge, because sometimes in Ghana kitchens aren't fitted out. So it's important to know, okay, do I have to pay for cooker, fridge, generator, those kind of things, and it can become quite costly. So if you're Ghanaian, I highly recommend asking family members if they've got a property available that they wouldn't mind renting out to your family at a discounted rate, because you'll be quite surprised how many aunties, uncles, mums and dads have properties in lovely locations, lovely areas, sitting absolutely empty. Now, what I will say in our situation, and because I believe this has actually helped the longevity of our stay, is that we've been able to utilise our family's home. So that's given us a bit of breathing space around the financial pressures of moving to Ghana. So if you really can, utilise your family if you are from Ghana, to see if there is something available where you can stay in for a period of time until you feel settled within yourself as a family, and that can give you a relaxed space to make smart decisions rather than rush decisions, and you can take your time and look at other places like what I've showed you in my previous videos, and you can go around communities and see what is really the best fit for your family when it comes to accommodation in Ghana. So the next thing we're going to talk about, because this is one of the areas where big chunks of your money are taken from you, is schools. Schools in Ghana can range from anything between 4,000 Ghana cedis all the way up to 4,000 USD. Okay, so depending on what you want, community school, or if you want, an international top tier school, there's something for everyone in Ghana. But what I will say is that from my experience of researching the schools, like Ghana, when it comes to education, the standard of excellence is quite high. So whether, you're going to a community school or an international top tier school, the teachers there kind of are trying to enable the child to do their best, um, just to do the best of their ability, really, which is lovely. Whereas in the UK, I don't know if it's because the teachers are like tired and overworked and understaffed, that it's almost like they just don't care anymore. But Ghana, education is really alive, and education is something that is really taken seriously. So that's really lovely. So my son's school, because he goes to, like, I'd say a top tier school, because he wanted the British Cambridge curriculum, and you have to be careful in Ghana because also there's a lot of schools that say they're international, but they're not really international. But my son's school that he goes to, he absolutely loves it. He's thriving. He's doing so well, and I genuinely just love the school for him. And his kind of price point can range between, for his type of school, I would say 4,000 USD to 6,000 USD a year. So that's another thing. Ghana like big chunks, so they make the yearly payment cheaper than the termly payment. So try your best and try and save up for your yearly payments of school fees if you can, whilst you're in the West planning for your move. Also, my youngest son, who's in daycare, and he absolutely loves it. He just started daycare in October, guys, this October. He's in a lovely daycare, and daycare here in Ghana is super affordable. His one is seen as I'd say it's in like the mid mark daycare in terms of price range, but the actual daycare itself, I think, is top tier. And his termly fees are around 400 pounds, which I believe is around, is it just under 8,000 cedis? I'm not too sure, because guys, the currency here, it changes, it fluctuates up and down, up and down. So yeah, it's around 400 pounds a term. Whereas in the UK, if you compare it, I mean, guys, we were paying, like, for my eldest son, £65 a day. So you do the math there. We're getting a fantastic deal out here in Ghana, a fantastic one. So yeah, schools here, that's the cost. I would say anything from 4,000 Ghana cedis all the way up to like 4,000, 6,000 pounds, depending on the kind of school you want your child, or even daycare that you want them to attend to. But I do know there are some schools here that cost way more than that, but I ain't got time for that. No way. And so next, now you're in Ghana, so you've got to eat. Yeah, so you've got to eat. Your family's got to eat. So where do you shop to eat? The places where we shop to eat at is Malcolm, which is really great. Malcolm is a bit like the Walmart, the Tesco's of like the Western world. And so there you can pick up like your fruits, your vegetables, your butchers. They have like everything you need, from like nappies, household products, shampoo, just everything that you need for your household to run, basically. And they are actually quite decent price, to be honest. They're a decent price. And even some of their produce, such as their bananas and apples, I would even say like compete with the market. They're actually cheaper than the local market, which is crazy. So when we go to Malcolm, I would say a weekly shop for us at Malcolm can cost anywhere from 350 Ghana cedis to 600 Ghana cedis a week, depending on if we're getting extra treats for the boys. But that's usually our price range. And then when we do shop at the market, because you're going to have to go to the market to pick up your sorry, I don't know, someone just walking down the street with a speaker. If you're going to the market, because you you have to go to the market here to buy your garden eggs, your okra, your cassava, your plantain, your yams. We don't spend any more than like 200 Ghana cedis. And then we do some like wholesale shopping. There's this great shop in East Legon called Memo, where I get like, for the boys' packed lunches, you know, the carton fruit juice with the straws. I can get like a whole pack of like 16 for like 90 cedis, 90, 80 cedis, which is fantastic. You know, if I compare the price to like if I go into a Malcolm, for example, and I want to buy one of those, which will usually cost around like I think 18 to 19 Ghana cedis, like just going into Memo to buy that big pack, it's definitely worth it. And you know how kids go through juice. Yeah, that wholesale shop is fantastic for us. And then we've got medical care, all your healthcare needs. So we go to two places. One of the places that we go to is the University of Ghana Medical Centre, which is a university hospital where the university students actually like practice their medical craft there, and they end up working there and all that kind of stuff. And that's one of the places where we go when the boys get unwell, when we get unwell, you know, that kind of thing. And it costs around, for registration, I believe I paid 50 Ghana cedis, and I think I paid like 20 Ghana cedis for both boys to get registered each. And then to actually see a doctor is around 200 Ghana cedis. And then on top of that, if you need to buy any of your medicines that they prescribe for you, you spend anything between like 150 Ghana cedis to 300 Ghana cedis. And if you're running any tests, any blood tests, that can also set you back like 100, 200 Ghana cedis, that kind of thing. I would say get health insurance if you can, and if you don't feel comfortable with getting health insurance, just have a good savings pot, you know, for you and your family to use if you need any medical treatments at all. However, if you are someone who has like quite you know, severe medical needs and you're coming to Ghana, please come with insurance, because your medical bills will be through the roof. When I'm talking about having a saving pot, is if you're relatively healthy, and if it's a thing where what you would encounter with illness is just like the common cold. Yeah? Okay, and so another place where we go is Bloom in East Legon. Bloom is really great in the sense of there's hardly any waiting because it's a bit more pricier, guys. It's about 300 Ghana cedis to see a doctor. So with Bloom, we go there if we know that we want to be in and out. If we've got time to spare, then we don't mind waiting in the University Medical Centre. But if we know we want to be in and out, we just go to Bloom. But Bloom can rack up and be quite pricey. I'll give you an example. When I went there for like, when I was feeling a bit unwell, the whole thing came to like £70 for me that I spent. So just keep that in mind, guys. Either get insurance or have a good healthy savings, a medical saving pot. Yeah? Okay, now the next things that we're going to cover is the utilities, and this one I'm going to have to go into my phone and read it out for you guys, so just bear with me. Okay, so house help. In Ghana, you're going to need house help, especially if you're a family, to just help you like manage just living in Ghana. And honestly, house help are an absolute gift from God, and it's seen as a cultural thing in here in Ghana, to have help if you are a family, where in the UK you can feel quite isolated, quite alone, and you have to kind of do things yourself. But house help are basically domestic staff who are here to help you with like things like cooking, cleaning. They can help look after your children, manage your home, that kind of thing, just to make sure everything is running smoothly. And I would say the price for house help is around 800 Ghana cedis to about 1,500 Ghana cedis. I know that in some like fancy areas such as cantonments and airport, where they get a lot of expats coming in, sometimes the expats like to pay more, but really that's down to them. If you're coming to Ghana, if you know you want to be here long term, pay your house help around the price of 800 to 1,500 Ghana cedis. Just do it, guys. Just do it. Yeah. Then the next one is electricity. Electricity, as a family of 4, you can spend anything between 1,500 Ghana cedis to 3,000 Ghana cedis a month. Then a driver, because we have a driver, is around 1,500 Ghana cedis a month. And then fuel is around 500 to 800 Ghana cedis a month. Now we're going to talk about expenses when it comes to like entertaining the kids, and they are the first to be served, aren't they? So yeah, so when it comes to the children and what we like to do with them, we take them out to a lot of indoor and outdoor soft play centres here out in Ghana. There's actually loads of stuff for kids to do out here in Ghana. Honestly, Ghana has changed. I even heard like a parent say the other day, like when I was at one of the indoor soft play centres, like, oh my gosh, Ghana has, you know, the scene for children here, it's really, really changed, you know, and it's so, so true. So there's so many affordable things that you can do out here with your kids, and I would say that we usually take our kids out like on the weekends, and so therefore we can spend anything from 70 Ghana cedis per child for 2 hours of play, but we've got 2, so that would turn up to be 140 Ghana cedis. And then you've got other play areas which cost 130 Ghana cedis for 3 hours of soft play, and we've got 2 children again, so that comes up to 260. Then we have another place that costs for indoor play can cost between 250 to 300 Ghana cedis, and we've got 2 children, so that can come up to like 600 Ghana cedis. So it just really depends on what we want to do with the kids and what the kids want to do. And so you can spend as little as even something like, let's say if you want to go to Bree Gardens, go for a picnic, go for a walk in a Bree Gardens, you can spend like as little as like, what is it, like maybe like 100 cedis for everyone just to get in the park, and then from that moment on you could have a little picnic, play a bit of football, just do whatever. So honestly, yeah, those are our expenses when it comes to like the kids having fun. And then sometimes I do take the boys out to the cinema, and I do take the boys out to the cinema. Cinema ticket for the boys is sometimes around 100 Ghana cedis. Sometimes the cinema, even Accra Mall Cinema, sometimes they've like run promotions in the past where like my son has gone in for free and has had free popcorn. So yeah, you know, Ghana is fantastic. There's lots to do here, lots of fun activities to do to keep them thoroughly entertained. And the weather is like pretty much great all year round, so that's a big plus, and it really helps. And that is about it. So guys, if there's anything that you feel like I've missed, or if there's anything that you want me to address, please just like chat to me in the comments. I'm there to answer all your questions. Yeah, so you can feel free to chat to me there. and I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it's given you some context. I hope it's helped you with your planning, or when you do come to Ghana, like what things you might access whilst you're here living with your family. But honestly guys, Ghana has been the best decision that we've made as a family. My children are happy and thriving, and we're all just happy, and yeah, so I'll see you in the comments, and look forward to seeing you also in the next video that I make. Bye for now.